Welcome to Database Management Systems. Okay. Now we are going to see about the topic ER models. I am Niveta. I am from Konganadu College of Engineering and Technology. Entity ER model means entity relationship model using in a database management system. An entity relationship model that provides a means for representing a relationship between those entities. It's an aid for a database design. If you are creating any database, if you are designing any database means the entity relationship is a aid for designing a database. Okay, it's easy to visualize and easily we can understand ER model. These concepts are used. What's entity? Entity is a thing or an object in a real world that is distinguishable from all other objects. For example, I'm having the particular person or car, a house, etc. Entity set, that means our entity has a set of properties and the values for some set of properties may uniquely identify an entity. For example, I'm having the car means the car having the engine number and then and the company name and the color of the car and the 5-seater or 7-seater. These are all the attributes. Okay, that set of properties. These properties and the values for some set of properties may uniquely identify an active that entity. Okay, an entity set is a collection of entities. Entity set is a collection of entities having the same properties. Okay, attributes, the properties that are describe an entity or called attributes. In a customer, if you're having the customer means that entity, customer ID, name, street, these are all the attributes. I'm having the car means the car color, that engine number, and then car, where is the company, and then who is the founder of that company, or that's car having the 7-seater or 5-seater. These are all the attributes of that entity. That entity is a car. Okay. And then attributes types as a simple attribute. An attribute that cannot be divided into further subpart, that means atomic. For example, the customer ID of a customer entity. If you are having the entity is a customer, it's a customer ID is the one of the attribute in that customer entity. The simple attribute means that cannot be divided into further support. Each and every customer having a single ID, that means atomic. Okay, and then composite attribute, an attribute that can be divided into set of supports. In this example, see that example, employee having the name is one of the attribute, address is one of the another attribute, and then salary is one of the attribute. This address attribute is further divided into number and then street, city. In this example, that address is a composite attribute. Okay, and then single value attribute, an attribute having the only one value in a particular entity, that is called single value attribute. Okay, an attribute having the single value. And then multi-value attribute, see this example, an attribute having a more than one value for a particular entity. In this example, employee is an entity, name, address, and degrees are an attributes. In this, degree is the it's having the more than one value. So degree is addressed double eclipse. Okay, it is a multi-value attribute. And then derived attribute that is derived from other related attributes or entities. See this example, employee having the birth date, we can easily derive the age from the birth date. Okay, that is the age is dotted lines means okay, birth date, we are having the birth date means we can easily find the age from the birth date, the deriving the age from the birth date attribute. Okay, then attribute that is derived from the other related attributes, that age is derived from the birth date. Okay, that is called derived attribute. And then weak entity set, entity types that do not have a key attributes of their own, that is called weak entity types. And then strong entity set means entity types that have a key attributes of their own are called strong entities. If you are having the key attributes means that is strong. The do not having the key attributes means that is weak entity set. Okay. And these are all the components used in the ER diagrams. We are using the entity, that means a rectangle box. We are using example student on subject, that is the entity. We are must using these symbols for you are creating a ER diagrams. Okay, if you are using a rectangle symbol means that is mentioned by entity, and then relationship always using the diamond symbol. That means relationship means diamond symbol. If you are using weak relationship means double diamond symbol. Okay, and then attributes for an entity means ellipse symbol. Book is an, I see this example, book is an entity, and then author on date of publish, that is on the entity, sorry, attributes of an at that book entity. Okay, key attribute for an entity, the attribute name inside the ellipse is underlined, that is called key attribute. Okay, and then these are all the compounds, and the derived attribute dotted ellipse is created inside the main ellipse, that is derived attribute. From the last example we are using the derived attribute is a age is mentioned by the dotted lines. Okay, multi-valued attribute for an entity, it's a double ellipse, strong ellipse, multi-valued attribute. See this example is a component employee, manager, and then department. It's a symbol, employee is one of the entity and the department is one of the entity, and the diamond symbol is to a relationship. Okay, and the weak entity, it's a double depend on the another entity, weak entity. So in this example, loan installment, if you are borrowing the loan means we are having the installment, otherwise we do not need any installment. Okay, these are the attributes, property of and characteristics of an attitude. In this example we are having the student is an entity, the student having the name, ID, address, and then age. In second example, ID is underlined, that ID is a key attribute, and then address having the city, state, and zip files, etc. That is our composite attribute. That is the address having the own attributes. Okay. Yeah, diagrams of the relationship. So one to one, one to many to one, and then many to many relationship. We are one student, that means for example student one enrolling only one course means that is one to one relationship. If any of the attribute, one attribute or one entity is related into another single entity means that is one to one relationship. One entity is related into multiple entities means one to one to many relationship, and then many to one relationship, many relationship, that means many entity. Students, in this example, consider this example, students, many number of students enrolling in a course one. It's totally 60 members enrolling the course of CSE department means that students are multiple students. Okay, that means many, and they are choosing the course only in the CSE. That CSE is called a single course, that entity is a single, and then students are multiple, that is a many to one relationship, and then many to many relationship. In our college, more number of students choosing or enrolling the more number of courses. These courses are civil or mechanical, E&I, etc. means the students are so many relationship, many number of students enrolling a many number of courses. That is a many to many relationship. Okay. Thank you.